but we'll explain later. The thing about it is, even if you're married and you have a significant other, you still need to have dream goals and desires. There's going to be some that are aligned, and there's going to be some that are not aligned. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have them, because you're not a clone of your husband. But you need to express it in a nice way to your spouse, male or female. If you express it to the spouse in a way that's harsh, demanding, I want, then you're pushing it. There's more than one way to skin a cat, they say. So you need to study that person that you're married to. Find their weakness. Study them. They always tell you how they want to be treated. They always tell you how they want to behave. And it's not every conversation that needs to be carried on. You can stop the conversation and you can let it go. Because you see, you have to live to fight another day. You need to come back. And so sometimes you again remember I had a temper and I was younger. So he always threw his socks on the floor, and I kept saying, you need to put your socks in the hamper, because I was brought up to believe that every possession you have has an address where you live. It has a spot for it. If you have dirty socks, it goes in the hamper. If you have socks, you fold it in a special way and you put clean ones and you put them over there. That's just how it was. And he didn't. And I got frustrated with it. So I started picking them up and putting them in the trash. And then one day he woke up, he had no socks. He wore leather shoes, he had to go to work, and he got blisters. But he never did it again. He didn't ask me what happened to his socks, and I didn't tell him what happened to his socks. So it's not always a fight. So let us get fast forward quickly, because it's 8 minutes left, and my story is just happened to be long. And I know it's boring for many of you, but this is it. You ask. So in 1997 was the year that it crashed. Everything crashed. That spring, the furnace broke down. I came home. And because I was trained to listen to noise, I didn't hear, the house felt funny. And then I realized there was no heat because the furnace broke down. Number one. A couple of days later, they stole the car. Somebody stole the car. In August, I had to have surgery, hysterectomy. And then in September, my husband was diagnosed with lung cancer. So that was one of those years. And then so I'm at work, and my manager was cute and young, and he was a nice guy. And we got along really well. And he at Bay and Queen and Bay, City Hall branch. And he looked at me and said, Tessa-Marie, the only person in the world that could take all of this at one time is you. I don't know, what do you want me to do? So because I was sick, he said to me, he arranged for me to have all this free time because he just could. And then he said, nobody will sit at your desk. Your job is yours until you come back. Go fix it. So anyway, before dealing with all of that, I'm Catholic. I only know one thing. You pray. You just pray. That's all you do. You just sit down and God help me. You go to look at those images and you pray. So that day, I went to St. Michael's Cathedral in Toronto. And if you haven't seen it, it's beautiful. And I always went to church anyway on my way to work because I just always did. That's all I knew. I had no mother here. And so having children, you needed to just be known what to do with them and how to raise them. It doesn't matter. I just went to church 3 times a day and twice on Sundays. As I walked into St. Michael's Cathedral in Toronto, and I went down I knelt down, and I heard a voice. Sit down, shut up. We want to talk to you. That's all. And I knew it wasn't a voice of another human being in there. There was no service. It was just a place to go to sit and to meditate, to cry or to breathe or to accept where you are in life. So while I was doing that, I sat back. But I'm a writer, right? And I had the children, so I was always writing. I had a steno pad in my purse. So I took it out, I sat, and I started writing what I heard. you're the daughter of a king. When you walk, shoulders back, head held high. It doesn't matter even if your world is falling apart. When somebody asks you, how are you feeling or doing? You tell them you're wonderful. Telling them the story of what you're going through right now is not going to help you or them. They cannot solve the problems for you. They might feel sorry for you. They might laugh at you, but they can't help you. So why burden them? Why repeat what you already know you're experiencing? Share, I am wonderful, and believe you're wonderful. Do not carry your burden on your face. Do not feel that you have to show that life is horrid. It will not change life's horridness. It will keep it horrid. So you might as well just release it in meditation, let it go, and believe that the sun comes up another day. That yesterday was another day, and today is a new day. So I sat there and I wrote it. I had to go back to work, so I just listened, and when the thoughts kept coming and flowing like that, I just kept writing it. And as I said, the first time I remember actually saying it, I was at Loretta's house, because she's married to my cousin. And somebody, how are you? Who knew of me through my parents but didn't know me. And she said, hello, how are you? I said, I am absolutely wonderful. And she looked at me. I have never heard anybody said that. So I didn't think much of it, but I kept doing it. And sometimes you're walking through and somebody, Tessa-Marie, how are you? A customer says, I'm wonderful. And I started feeling wonderful. I started realizing, okay, it's not the end of the world. The furnace got fixed. He got better, but he decided to continue to smoke. I was fine. I never felt better in my life after the hysterectomy. We did get a brand new car. But the burden was heavy, and you have teenagers growing up at the same time, getting ready for university. And that is what changed my life. Is that day at St. Michael's Cathedral. That made me who I am. With all the other things I went through, I had a charmed life growing up. It wasn't, I don't know anything about anything. It was just a great life with this type of parents. But when I faced adversity, I thought of prayer and meditation, because that's what I was taught. And when I went to repeat again and again and asking God for help, I was told to shut up, sit down. And the voice spoke to me like I speak. Shut up, sit down. We want to talk to you. And that was the beginning of listening and hearing the voice and following the plans, even if I didn't know where they were going. And that's what changed me. And that's what made me me. And, there's a lot, because I'm 80 in a few weeks. So my journey is just, I never step back from a challenge. If an opportunity came, I stepped into it and did my best. I love to smile. I have no idea why I laugh more than I cry. You guys know me well enough to know when something falls, I look at it and I go, okay, so that's where you want to be. I smile. I never rush to fix it right away. I think it. And this is how I am. And, I talk about goal setting. This is my first goal setting. It's from some dollar store somewhere. And as you can see, it's just so full of all my writings. And that was the beginning of not writing, because I always wrote stories. The beginning of knowing how important it is to have plans, goals, dreams, and desires. And this is where we are today. So this is what I wanted to share, and I'm really happy for those of you who got one thing from it. And if you can believe in one thing for yourself, make sure that you know what you desire. Do not let it go. Do not let another person cloud your view. Do not accept the critics of others as yours. It only belongs to them. Realize you are unique, specifically created to be who you are today. With all your flaws, with all your perfect, like the songwriter said, with all your perfect imperfections, you're still the most beautiful thing in the universe right now. With no money in your pocket, you're breathing. That counts. You're walking, maybe with a limp, but you're walking nonetheless. You can see, and you need glasses, but you're seeing purposely clearly because you have the tools. So when the world throws the negative energy at you, you have a choice. In that choice, you can say to yourself, I can go the way or I can go this way. But one thing you must remember, you have to learn to rise from the ashes like the phoenix. Do not stay down. Always reach up. And when you reach up someday, somebody will pull you up. If you cannot see them, they might be invisible. But it's the unique you. No one can take away your destiny. Whatever you're going through right now is what you are supposed to go through. See it as a passage to something better. And when you get on that other stage, remember that was a stage you wanted to be on. And remember to say, thank you. I did it. I got there. And it's the best day of your life. Have a great day, especially those of you on TikTok. Sorry for the boring story about me, but you asked. And I have a saying that I use quite often. There are more years behind me than they're ahead of me. And my aim is to really enjoy whatever is in front of me from the next hour to the next hour. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to me. Have an amazing and wonderful day. So, hey, there Nancy said,